Now, Dario, that game we've just watched, the Wigan game, 5 goals, tremendous, eh?
It's a good way to finish the season. It's nice to finish on a winning note in front of your own supporters. They've enjoyed the season.
Yes, certainly.
And we've played some good football. And I think we haven't done so well recently, the last few games, and they were hoping they'd have something to cheer, today after the game.
Mark Gardner's free kick from some would say it was a penalty, but the referee indicated out the box. It was against the lad's arm. Is that a plan of yours? Free kicks?
Well, it's nothing special in terms of imagination.
No.
If you have a free kick on the edge of the box, the obvious thing is to try and hit the back of the net.
Yeah.
The only thing that we've done, we've actually had a wooden wall made, and we can move it about. Got it on a frame and on wheels, so we can practice free kicks. The worst thing about practicing free kicks against the wall is when the wall's made up of the other players. Because realistically they don't want to be hit, and you're going to be hitting them because you're not always accurate. So the wooden wall has helped, and we've practiced it a little bit more. And we've got 2 or 3, we've got probably 4 who are quite good at it. Mark Gardner is arguably the best. Craig Hignett is fairly close to him. Paul Fishington hit a terrific one in to get us a point at Walsall.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yes, so I think Mark scored twice.
He had one at Blackpool round the wall.
That's right. Yeah, and Craig scored at Rotherham. So I think we've got 4 from that. Now I reckon we should be doubling that. I reckon we should be having 8 to 10 goals from that, and we ought to practice it even more. Steve Walters is also quite good at it.
Yes,
I keep saying we will practice these things more, but hopefully next year when Kenny Swain will be free to help me as opposed to taking the kids, we'll have a bit more time, and that is definitely
one of the comments that have been made about the game recently is that it's more of a tactical game, set plays. The game is made up of set plays. Do you think that's correct?
I think in many ways clubs play like that. For instance, the Sheffield Uniteds and the Wimbledons of this world forward and make a fight of it and get the free kicks, and then they've got big fellows that can cause a lot of trouble at the set plays, and that's the way they're hoping to win games. Now that's an oversimplification of it. There's a lot more to their game than that, and they're entitled to do that. I don't think that's an attractive way of playing. I don't think it's attractive to watch. I personally wouldn't like to watch that way of playing. Having said that, I haven't seen Sheffield United. I wouldn't want people to think that I'm being critical of Sheffield United in particular. I'm just being critical of maybe that kind of play. We don't play like that. I don't think. We work on our set plays.
Yes.
Since David Platt has left, we haven't really got a good attacking header of the ball.
No.
And we haven't scored as many goals from set plays as I would have liked. Even Paul Dyson really only got 2, both in the same game, and isn't noted for his goal scoring.
Right.
The fact that you're big doesn't mean to say necessarily that you're going to get them, because David wasn't big. David Platt wasn't big, but he could time it and was brave. I think our play, I try out to get our play flowing.
Right.
And I like the flowing football. I like the flowing moves, and I think our supporters do.
It was noticeable against the home game against Tranmere that you seemed to give Jim Steele a bit of room, because they seemed to play that way, down the middle to him. Yet you gave him some room there, although it was noticeable that we had no one to attack him when he did get the ball. You allowed him to turn. Was that the idea? No,
we didn't allow him to turn. We did allow him to turn, but we weren't intending to.
No.
What we were trying to do is to avoid somebody trying to battle him for the headers down the middle.
This is what you're on about, the free kicks. He would have played for a free kick, would he?
Yes.
He would have played for a free kick,
And it was important that we kept his heading halfway in our half. And we didn't give him a free kick there, so that the next header was in our box.
Right.
So we really weren't worried about him flicking the ball on.
No.
And we were dropping off to pick up the flick-ons.
Yes.
But we dropped off too far, which allowed him to bring the ball down and turn. Now the ideal situation was to be somewhere in between, so that if he tried to bring the ball down, we could close him. We dropped off too much, and therefore Dale Jasper couldn't win the ball from the other side, which is what we did last year at Tranmere. Worked very well at last year at Tranmere. At the end of the season, he caused no trouble with his heading. And to be fair, he caused no trouble with his heading this year.
No, he didn't. Yeah. It wasn't his headers.
It was his 30-yard volley that caused the problem.
Yeah, it was a tremendous goal. But there again, that's the sort of play that they use at Tranmere. Is there any other games that stick in your mind? Not particularly games that we've won, but games that we've competed well in.
Well, there's several games that stand out. As good a game as any was the 4-0 defeat of Chester, second game of the season, first home game. That was the kind of football I like to see, and I thought we were very, very good that night, with players arriving in dangerous positions from all over the place. The defeat of Huddersfield here, the Bury game here, the first half of our play against Orient, when we went in losing 1-0, being 1-0 down, that was as good as we've played at all this season. The performances, the draw at Chelsea was of course memorable. Anyone who went to Chelsea to support us will remember that day, because obviously they got a terrific result.
Unlucky not to come away with the result, really.
Well, maybe. They deserved a draw on their play, but as the way the game went, then maybe we were a little bit unlucky. But really getting a draw at Chelsea was like winning the game, because it got us another draw at home against the First Division side. And the game at Bishop Auckland was a very important one. That gave me a lot of pleasure. Not in terms of football, because we didn't try to play football up there.
No.
I wasn't interested in trying to play football up there.
No.
It was a very important game financially to us, because it meant we were playing Chelsea. We knew that.
Yes, it was a good incentive.
It stopped me having to sell a player. And so it had to be won. And we've got to be beating non-league sides. No league club wants to lose to a non-league side. We had a scare here. We had a scare against Congleton, and we had a scare against Bishop Auckland here. That was enough. So the 2-0 victory up there was a well-earned, hard-fought one.
Well, tremendous, in fact, Dario. The season, really, this is the first in Crewe's history, I believe, that they've remained in the third division after being promoted. How do you feel personally about that?
Well, it was nice to achieve something that hasn't been achieved before, and that was a target, if you like. I mean, at the start of the season, your aim is to be promoted. But I think if they said to me at the start of the season, would you settle for being comfortably halfway, I'd have said yes. I suppose realistically that'll do, because I was worried that maybe we wouldn't. We hadn't done it before. So I think it's maybe not as significant as getting promotion. I think getting promotion from the fourth is harder than staying in the third, really. You know, there's more pressure, if you like, and to be one of only 3 teams is is quite difficult.
That is special, yes.
Now those teams have all done well this year, and only the 4th team that came up in the playoffs have found it a little bit difficult, and they're not bad. I mean, Orient aren't bad. So yes, I think it's a terrific achievement, and also from a personal point of view, when I took Wimbledon up, we didn't stay up, we came down straight away. So it's the first time I've done that as well, stayed up. And I learned from the Wimbledon experience, and I did feel at the start of the season that if the team wasn't quite good enough, I'd got to be the difference.
I see.
And I'd got to handle it in such a way that I would keep us up. Well, as it turns out, the team was good enough, and I wasn't needed, if you like, to be balancing just on the relegation mark. But nevertheless, again, from a personal point of view, I did, but the team did better than we did when I was at Wimbledon, and I did better than I did when I was at Wimbledon.
Smashing, Dario. Well, we can hear the noise around us. We're having some improvements to the ground. Have you got any ideas on how you'd like to improve it further?
The ground or the football club?
Both, yes.
Well, we're always obviously trying to improve the facilities. What we're going to do in the close season, I'm not 100% sure of. I'm sure what we're going to do to the pitch, and we're going to do quite a lot of work on the pitch, because I want the reserves to play on the pitch next year, because the supporters have shown that they'll come and watch. We've got a good reserve side.
Yes.
We'll apply for the Central League, but might not be successful. But we'll still play some Lancashire League games on here.
Yes.
So we need to spend some money and time on the pitch. As far as the team's concerned, I want us to be better next year than we were this year.
Yes.
And there's absolutely no reason why that shouldn't be. I don't expect to be losing many players, if any, in the summer, although a few contracts are up. And so the nucleus, I'm going to keep my players. I'm not going to have a big turnaround.
No.
I'm going to give this lot another year, as it were, because I think a lot of them should improve significantly.
Yes.
And if they do improve significantly, then we could be challenging.
Yes.
If they don't improve significantly, then next year will be the time to have a little change around.
Yes. Well, Dario, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, Dino, here you are, working hard in the treatment room. How's it going?
Not too bad now. I'm starting to get myself much fitter, hopefully. Even with this lot in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm starting to feel much better now, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
What was the extent of your injury, Dino?
Basically, damaged my medial ligament and 2 of my cruciates, but hopefully not too badly.
Yeah.
So I just got to. I've rested it for about a month now. I'm just starting to work on it now. Get my knees strong again. Build my muscles up, and just see how it goes from there.
For you, what was the high points of your season or the low points of it?
Well, I felt I've had more low than high. The high points, I think like the away victories at say Blackpool and Rotherham. Well, you know, we've had some good high points, but it's been very inconsistent season. Obviously, myself, I've had a lot of low points with injuries and having to struggle with injuries and that. But it's just been a funny old season, really. It's been very inconsistent.
Yeah. So hopefully you're fit for selection next season.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hopefully. Yeah. You know, I've been told that I've recovered fully from it, and it's just a case of working hard on it, and being sensible for the first say month and a half, and slowly building it up.
Right. Thanks very much, then, Dino.
Okay, no problem.
All the best.
Yeah, cheers.
Right, Rob. Yeah. When was your last game then, Rob?
It was about 2 months ago against Maidstone away, and I haven't played since then, since my hernia.
Yeah, and how have you gone since then?
Well, the operation went fine. About a week after, I was back in here working hard, and it felt great.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, I could feel the pains recurring.
Yeah.
So obviously, I didn't try to do too much too soon.
The operation was successful, but it was you very eager to get back.
Yeah. It felt good. I was working hard on it, no reaction, and all of a sudden it was pain.
Yeah.
So I had to stop, break down again. And this is my first week after my break, so I've got to work hard now. Hopefully we'll be fit for next season.
Well, putting that into the shadows, as they say, your high point must have been your hat-trick, first game of the season, against a new club in the league.
Yeah.
How did you feel after that?
Well, it was great. Well, not just scoring a hat-trick, the result as well. No one would have predicted that. Barnett gave us a good game, really. They put us under the cosh, and it was just great to score an hat-trick first day of the season.
Tremendous game, wasn't it? Really?
It was, yeah. It was like a cricket score, yeah.
Yeah, it was, and they kept coming back.
Yeah. All our goals were quality goals as well. They were well worked. I can remember the game as if it was yesterday. Good support down there.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for more.
We have got. Excuse me. We have got a good away support, haven't we?
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah. Support us very strongly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially away from home. Yeah. Very good.
Well, Rob, I hope you're going to be fit again for selection. Start the season. You do as well, Ian. All the best,
Cheers,
thanks a lot.
Are these going to be on sale, these, Pete? Yeah.
You know the following, right?
Right, Steve. Good pre-season.
Yeah, not too bad, Pete.
Yeah. Then what?
Well, it's been a bit of an indifferent season, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe debut and everything, but I've been injured quite a bit, so.
Yeah. You've had a few games in the youth team as well.
Oh yeah, I played in the youth team quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that was. We didn't get any further. We went down to Crystal Palace at the time.
Yeah, we all ended up losing there.
That was. It was a good game because we didn't look as if we would have lost by. What was it, 3 goals in the end.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We didn't get a goal, which was disappointing, but it was a good run till then.
Yeah, we had a couple of good games. Good result the whole way.
Yeah.
We're losing.
Yeah.
1-0, we managed to equalise just near the end of the game.
Yeah,
So that was a good result.
That was a tremendous game. They didn't expect to get beat, did they?
No, they didn't. No. And it's a good game against Mayo there as well.
Yeah.
Crowd.
How do you feel playing in the first team?
Oh, it's been a great experience for me this year. I didn't really expect to be in as much as I've been.
Yeah.
But then again, I've been injured a lot, so I'd like to have played a lot more games than I have.
But you've gained that vital experience of playing in the first team.
Yeah.
And what have you personally learned from that?
Oh, I mean, it's a man's game, isn't it? And
yeah. It sounds like it. I take no notice of that.
No, I'm not worried about that one. Not worried about that one.
Anyway, Stu, wish you all the best for the future.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Your injury's clearing up well now?
Yeah, I should be able to start training in pre-season. Hopefully back round next season.
Right then.
Okay, thanks a lot, mate.
I found it easy doing the weights on the left leg. What about my right leg? I mean, you're away for a couple of weeks. Should I start doing light, with no weights on it, or just leave it?
I wouldn't be so concerned with that until you maximise your range.
Right, okay.
Put your 20 minutes on that.
Okay.
Until you get really full flexion and extension, I won't be worried about per reason.
Quite low. I mean, just having a bit of support, right? Well, Dario, here we are, end of season again. Work commencing. Can you tell us all about what's happening?
Yes, we're changing the family stand, just extending our premises really. We're going to build a big room there for the family stand and put seats in behind the goal there and perhaps some executive boxes as well. So it's a double-storey building going in there, cantilever roof. We're moving into the 20th century here at Crewe Alexandra.
The season ended rather abruptly for us, really, didn't it? It full of promise, and then what happened?
Well, we weren't, in the end, we weren't quite good enough to go up. And we had a season of some excitement. We had some highlights. We were capable of playing some terrific football. As you can see on this tape, we scored some tremendous goals. A lot of ability in the side. Perhaps lacking a little bit in mental and physical toughness. Lacking a little bit in that bit of experience that maybe is necessary. And lacking a little bit perhaps in quite enough ability to see us through. But still no reason why we shouldn't be full of hope, because again I think we've got a team that by and large is going to get better rather than worse.
Yes. You personally, the highlights, what were the highlights for you this season? There must have been some.
Well, I mean, obviously the game against Liverpool, the build-up to the game against Liverpool was a highlight. The game itself was an anticlimax for me. But that, to be able to play Liverpool, to be live on Sky Television. I mean, Sky Television is going to play such an important part in football in the foreseeable future. And it's nice that they would be interested, and they are interested, not just in the Premier League, but in clubs such as us. And I'm sure we've got something to offer television. So that's a sign of the future. I hope we'll be on television again. Rob Jones's sale for such a lot of money has got to be a highlight, because that is one of the important aspects of the club. In fact, if you like, the most important part of my job is keeping the club in business. And the way we keep the club in business, the business we're in, is we're in the business of producing and selling footballers. So that was a big bonus for us, and a big bonus for Rob, because he's gone on to do extraordinarily well, which has delighted not only him, Liverpool and us, but also all our supporters. They've taken great delight in seeing him do so well. Perhaps one of the other highlights was the 3 boys being picked for England. Thomas, Platt and Jones. Otherwise, in the games, the first game of the season,
has turned out to be a highlight, although I didn't look at it that way at the time. Again, the game against Barnet here on Boxing Day, when we beat Aldershot here, you know, they threw out a white flag in the end. But a lot of and the way we finished, if you like, I wasn't quite as despondent as many people with the fact that we lost at Scunthorpe, because we had actually come through some tremendous away games in that last build-up, you know, to the end of the season, and looked much more solid. The pairing of Wilson and Macaulay at the back with a sweeper behind them made a difference, and it's something I'm going to pursue next season. And in fact, I can't wait to get started, because I've got a lot of ideas about how we want to play. I'm going to change again the way we play, much more skillful, more football, and hopefully more effective, more goals. And we've scored 100 goals this year. 100 goals. I think we've scored just over 100 goals in all competitions, and that's the first time we've done that since I've been here. Now we've got to work very hard at scoring at least as many, but not letting in so many.
No. The goalkeepers, Dino's had a problem, and is he going to be fit again for next season?
Well, he should be. Nobody foresees any problem at the moment, and he's had his operation. He's coming along well, so they tell me. I'm in the hands of the surgeon and the physio there. And but we will sign a goalkeeper as well, and I'm not quite sure yet whether I should sign a young goalkeeper on a free transfer from another club, or whether I should buy a goalkeeper that will put on an immediate challenge to Dean. And I've had a summer where basically all the senior players, any senior player who's not in the side, has either been released or is available for transfer. And one of the senior players who's in the side, Aaron Callahan, has had asked to go on the list when he wasn't sure of a place in the side, and he's still on the transfer list, because I feel that we're well covered in that position with our own youngsters, and I'd like to promote Michael Jackson and Anthony Hughes now, so that they are the cover players. So I've retained basically the 11 senior players, and let all the others go. And I'm intending to bring in some people who are going to put on a more realistic challenge for the first team.
We did have a good run in the Youth Cup. It ended down at Crystal Palace, but we had a tremendous game against Hull away. They didn't expect to lose. We went up there and we won there. So it must give me some pleasure, really, seeing the young players doing so well in competitions against higher.
Well, of course, and of course, I mean that's our business. You know, we're producing young players, so of course it gives me pleasure. But the important thing with the production of young players is not to produce strong youth cup sides. And I went to Manchester United and I saw the final, the second leg of the final between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And I'm hard pushed to find anybody in the Crystal Palace side that I think is going to even have a first team future here. And yet they're in the final, and they've got a good strong team. I'm not hard pushed to find players in the Manchester United side. They've got good players and a good team. Now obviously that's what we'd like to do, to have good players and a good team. We probably aren't ever going to have enough good players to be sure of winning the FA Youth Cup, but we're always going to have enough good players to be there or thereabouts and doing something in it. I'm more concerned with seeing the players in the youth team. Whenever I watch the youth team play, I want to see where my first team players are. Whenever I watch any of our sides, and whenever I see the under-10s training, I know that's too early, but perhaps under-14s is more realistic. I'll say, now how many of these do I think have got a chance of coming through to the first team? That's the criteria, not what the side's like, how strong the team is like.
So all in all, the future looks rosy for Crewe.
Well, I mean, I think so. I'm biased, but I think so. We've got a decent team. We've ended the season with a decent team. I'm sure we'll be there or thereabouts next year, barring any real accidents. If I can do the business I want to do in the summer, we'll be more there than thereabouts. And we've got some good kids coming through. I'm very pleased with the YTS boys we're signing this summer. I was signing 8 boys who I'm enthusiastic about, and it's the first year I've been so involved in the selection. You know, usually I've
I've left it a little bit more to other people. But I've really made sure that we don't bring people in this year that only got half a chance. They've got more than half a chance. So 2 or 3 of those boys are outstanding. We've still got Garvey and Anthony Hughes of this year's second year, who have already played or been around the first team. Michael Jackson the same, that's 3 of them. Some others that we've kept on 6 of the second year YTS. So obviously I think they've got a chance. And we're going to be a bit young again because, as I say, I've let the Dale Jaspers and the Aidan Murphys and people like that go, who've really failed to command a regular place over the last 2 years. And I'm hoping that these boys are going to be ready. And if they're not, maybe I'm just going to have to get 1 or 2 to fill in.
Well, thanks very much, Dario. The disappointment of not automatically going up could then really be overcome by a stronger push next season.
Well, you're always, I've said before the end of the season that I'm aiming to improve my squad, whatever league we were in, whether it's the 3rd or the 4th. Next year's team's got to be better. What we can be sure of here is you'll see on the goals, we saw some terrific goals. And we've got goals in the club. Craig Hignett's done extraordinarily well to score as many goals as he had. He scored, I think, 20 goals, or very nearly, and none of them from a central striking position. Tony Naylor scored 26 or 27 and has missed about 40 more. But he'll get better. That's his first full season. Phil Clarkson's got goals in him. Rob Edwards, his season was curtailed because of his operation. He's got goals in him. Mark Gardner's quite capable of scoring goals, and I think we're still to see the best of Mark. There's improvement in him even though he's been here 4 years now. It'd be nice to see how Garvey can do. I'd like to see a fit Walters. He's fitter this year than he was the year before. Hopefully he'll be fitter again, free from some of his illness worries.
So you start mumbling the words?
Yeah.
Just have to keep it nice and simple.
Do that, so get this.
Well, we do all look at you.
Yeah, well, yeah, just talk to me as if we're just having a nice Sunday afternoon after tea. Well, Tony, a successful season personally for you. We didn't go up, but that's the way it goes. What was your feelings on your season?
From a personal point of view, I've enjoyed the season, only because of the way things went last season for me. I just didn't really feel as though I was doing anything. When I got my chance this season, things have just gone from there, really.
Yes, yeah. You've the team's top scorer. How many goals have you scored?
With the 2 that I've had took off me, 25. I have to get that one in.
25?
Yeah.
And 2, of course, have been struck from the record book.
Right. Aldershot.
The Aldershot, yeah. Which goal, if any, gave you the most pleasure?
I'd say the best goal was the goal against us, Aldershot. I thought the move was a great move.
Yeah.
So many passes, and it's nice to finish a goal like that.
Yes.
But the one that means most is the one at Rotherham. That's because of the season before.
Yes.
I had so many chances up there, and just don't know what went wrong.
Yes, yes. You've obviously enjoyed this season at Crewe. Is there anything that you can put that down to? Why you've enjoyed it more than last season?
I think, to be honest, I worked hard pre-season. I felt a lot fitter, a lot sharper.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the team was playing, if you can't fit in with the team when they're playing, like passing the ball so often, you're always going to get chances. So it's just a case of you're going to score one sooner or later.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've enjoyed it, because I've had so many chances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the way that the team has been playing, as you've just said, has been a delight to watch, and that the team this season has scored more than 100 goals, which is quite an achievement, really, isn't it? 100 goals in a season. It's quite a lot, and hopefully next season we score even more.
I'd like to think so, yeah. Especially if we play the way we started off this season.
Yeah.
I thought like early on in the season we was creating so many chances. It was a case of how many we was going to score.
Yeah.
Not, like if we was going to win by the one.
Yeah.
But I always felt as though we'd get enough chances to score 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas later on in the season it seemed to he wasn't getting that many chances.
No.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're obviously looking forward to next season. It isn't going to be in the 3rd division, it's going to be in the 4th again, or we don't know how the structure is going to be with the different leagues, the Premier League coming in and that, so nobody really knows yet. But what does the future hold for Tony Naylor?
Well, hopefully another season like last year.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Tony.
You're welcome. Do all your own stuff now.
Yeah. That pops. Well, Tony, here we are, end of season. You've ended up with 25 goals. Well, 25 minus 2 for the older shot. I'll get that in for you. Yeah. Of those 25 goals, which one gave you the most pleasure?
The most pleasure was the one at Rotherham when we were playing down there. Only because of the season before, I had so many chances down there and nothing went right for me. I was more or less hitting them straight at the goalkeeper. So I was quite pleased to get a goal early on.
Yeah, yeah. And the other goal that you mentioned was the one against Aldershot at Crewe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great move, that. I don't think I've seen a better move all season. I mean, I've seen Liverpool score some goals, but the move itself was fantastic. So many passes.
Yes.
And like you said, to get on the end of it and score a goal like that,
Mm-hmm.
gave me quite a lot of pleasure, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. You are the team's top scorer this season, like I said, with 25 goals. We'll keep saying that. It was 25. You did score 25.
Yeah, I did score 25.
We'll credit you with 25. Whatever the record books say, you did score 25. How come that you've scored so many this season against last season when you had a bit of an indifferent season?
To be quite honest, I think this season I was a lot sharper. I was a lot fitter, so I don't really know. I just put it down to being a lot sharper during the pre-season. We worked hard, and I think it paid off.
Yes.
We was always going to get chances the way we was playing, so I put it down to that more than anything else.
I mean, the opening game of the season, 7-4 at Barnet, that was a tremendous game, wasn't it?
Yeah, a few hearts stopped that game, I'll tell you.
Yes.
But that was a great game to play in. It was always, it was up and down. It was going one way and then it was going the other. So it was just nice to get a win.
Yes. The season ended on a rather low note for us, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
We thought we were going to get through to the playoffs. There were so many missed chances throughout the season, so I suppose in the end we didn't deserve it. But what does the future hold for Tony Naylor?
Hopefully another season like last season. Only more goals, hopefully.
Thank you very much, Tony.
You're welcome.
That might have been a bit better, mate.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, here we are, lovely Sunday afternoon. You're just recuperating from an injury that you've had some operations done on. How are you feeling?
I don't feel too bad. It's a little bit sore, but it's something that's been niggling at me for a good few months now, and when the season finished I decided I had to have something done, and I've seen the specialist and it needed an operation.
You've scored 7 goals this season, 2 superb free kicks, and you're always involved in set piece moves. Where do you think your best goal came from?
I've scored 3 that were pretty much on the par. 3 that I thought were good goals. The one against Burnley was just really important. 5 minutes to go against the top team in the league.
Yes.
And that a set piece. And then against Wrexham, I scored my second goal, which I haven't struck a ball as well as that for years. I just really drove it, and it flew in the corner. And
that was a mad 5 minutes just before half time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think, yeah, I did have the sun must have got to my head for a bit, and I scored 2 in a couple of minutes. And one down at Hereford, because it was with my right foot, which I don't get many with that, and I had my dad and my brother there, and it was a good occasion. I really enjoyed that.
I remember that well. It was a cracker of a goal, that was.
Yeah.
You've enjoyed a particularly good season. Would you say it's your best season at Crewe?
I don't know. The first year, when we got promotion, I mean, obviously at the end of the year we had something to show for it. But I've been quite satisfied with how this season's gone. It's just a shame we never managed to get through to the playoff at Wembley. But no disrespect to Scunthorpe, they were the better side. I think over the 2 legs, I think they won it fair and square.
Yes. It has been said that we got what we deserved. But nevertheless, the players were disappointed, weren't they? Everybody was disappointed.
It was, you know, for a season that's lasted 10 months to come down to a final 10 minutes, more or less.
Yes.
You know, it's very disappointing, and it's difficult to lift yourself for a while after that. But I'm already looking forward to next season.
Oh, I'm sure you are. You came from Torquay to Crewe as primarily a defender.
Well, I played in the sweeper system at Torquay as the left back, which gave me the opportunity to get forward, and my defending didn't need to be as a normal left back. Didn't have to be a solid tackler or anything. You know, that's not my strength. But my ability to get up and down the line, that's why I ended up in that position.
Yes, yeah. And it's a position you relish, really, don't you? You love being there.
I enjoyed that, but now I've moved back into the centre. I prefer it in there again now. I suppose it must be just a phase you go through. You can get far more involved being in the centre of the field, and I thought me and Stevie had a pretty decent little partnership in there, and I really enjoyed playing there.
Right. Well, Mark, I hope that whichever injury or wear and tear, as you call it, clears up soon, and you'll be ready for selection next season. Thanks very much, Mark.
Thanks, Pete.